This is the fourth live stream for the Shift film, for the Shift, trying to turn the short film into a feature film. And we're so glad that you could join us tonight. Let's break it down. Where are we at right now? Right now, our current investment is sitting at $46,000, and I'm sorry, $46,600.
How many dollars?
$46,600. This is what it's going to be all night, isn't
all
it?
night.
All night. It's going to be this. Okay, great.
It's Bring Your Wife to Work Day.
This was such a bad idea. With 157 investors, which is amazing. We are officially at the halfway. We're a little bit past the halfway point for our minimum funding goal of $93,000 that we are trying to get to by September 9th so that we can launch this campaign into the stratosphere and get all the way to that $1 million by September 30th. So happy that we're already at the halfway. No pressure at all. No, I'm not feeling it. So happy that we're already at that halfway point. It's amazing. So tonight, we are looking forward to speaking with you. We're looking forward to seeing what you have to say to us. We are looking forward to... oh, shoot. I'm being told that we're not live on Facebook yet.
Oh, we're live on
But I know that we're live on YouTube. That's not good. Let me see if I can fix this. Oh, no.
I feel like there should be, like, waiting music.
It's supposed to be live. It's terrible. Okay.
This is like online learning for every child across America
right
now. This is what it's like.
Oh, no. I got to troubleshoot here.
Should we tell rock stories while we wait?
You can tell a story. That's fine.
I'm trying to think of a good one.
You better hurt. You see. You
I'm
can't.
coming
You
up
can't
dry.
pause during live.
I know.
You
I'm
have
coming
to,
up dry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good Brock story, and I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Oh no! What's
the
happening?
first time we ever ate a meal together, he.
Oh, don't tell that story. Don't do that. Really, that's the one you pick? We've been married for 20 years, and that's the go-to?
I asked Brock before we started this thing what I could say, and he told me anything I wanted.
Yeah, I thought you would be kind. Okay. Well, I got to figure out why we're not live on Facebook. This is terrible.
It's not terrible. We'll figure it out.
It's terrible. Feels pretty terrible.
No, we'll be fine. We have good stuff tonight, so it doesn't matter. People will be patient.
Everything I have tells me that we are connected. So why are we not connected? Oh, there's our dogs. That's fun.
They want to chime in.
They want to chime in.
They also have Brock stories.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
It says it's happening now.
Well, it says it's happening now because it knows what time it's supposed to be happening.
Hi, Jenna. And Nancy.
Yeah, if...
Welcome. Let me check mine.
Check your Facebook, see if it's there. Yeah, switch to YouTube. Well, if you're hearing this right now, you're on YouTube and you're actually watching this. But if you're on Facebook, that's where we really need to be. So I'm gonna take the extreme step of toggling Facebook Live on and off.
Like pulling the plug and plugging back in.
Yes, and plugging back in. And see if we can make this happen.
Hi, Noah. I'm just gonna say hello to everyone.
Yeah, just say hello. We have somebody saying can't wait because they're still waiting.
Oh.
So it's not happening.
That's sad.
Shoot, this has not happened yet. And we are ending at exactly 7 p.m. tonight, so we really can't afford to waste any time. We have 7 people watching on YouTube. I am so grateful that you're with us. I'm sorry that right now we're not able to quite get going because we know that so many people are waiting for us on Facebook. Don't want to delay for them. Yeah, we're getting lots of messages, people waiting, and our moderator thankfully is letting them know that we're having some issues.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes. I heard a voice. That means we have somebody joining our Zoom, but you should be on mute right now. So please put yourself on mute until I introduce you. Okay. I am gonna have to do something drastic here. All
You
of
got
this
me?
was
Can you see me?
working. Hey, Greg, you need to mute yourself. You need
Got
to
it.
mute
Okay.
yourself.
Got it.
There you go. We'll bring you in a little bit later once we get all this technology working properly. How do I access it? Garen, go ahead and...
Me?
Yeah, go ahead and tell your story. It's fine.
Okay, so the first
fill the time here.
For the first time we ever had a meal together, Brock had a hamburger and he ate it like I can't even figure out like what animal to compare it to. It was the nastiest thing I've ever experienced, and I swore I would never date him after that because he ate like a pig. There was food all over his face.
Okay, you didn't have to be that graphic about it. That seems unkind.
It was real gross.
That seems unkind.
But he worked it out. You eat very nicely now.
Thank you. I'm a very good eater.
He's a very good eater.
In all ways.
And our children are too, thankfully. Because I worried about that as well. That's my Bronx.
Okay, can you come up with another one?
I'm drawing a blank. I'm feeling nervous for you about this tech
I'm
stuff.
very, very not happy with what's happening right now.
Hi, Jenna. Nancy. Look, there are people here.
Yes, there are.
Jenna's enjoying the Brock stories.
Yes, Jenna says praying Facebook will work soon. Oh, it is. We're on.
Yay!
Oh, okay, great. We're finally on.
Woohoo!
Okay, yay! Now I just got to navigate back to the page so that we can see your comments.
Yay.
Okay, so sorry for the delay. I screwed something up on my end, which
I don't think so. I was looking at it. It all looked good.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Okay. So let's get to here so that we can see.
Do you have to join the event?
No.
No.
Here, you know what? I'm going to let you work the mouse while I do this. If you can just... you don't know what you're going. You don't know where you're going.
I do not.
Okay. You want to review the initial things that I was talking about before?
You want me to review the initial things?
Yeah, all the things that everybody missed because we took so long getting this going.
Just put me to work.
Do you mind?
Sure. Why not? Can I say if I do mind?
We're live, so not really.
Investments right now are at $46,600, which is super exciting. And it's really helping Brock to sleep at night. So thank you on behalf of me, who has to sleep next to him and is also not sleeping when he does not sleep. In addition to the $46,600 that have been raised so far, that is the culmination of 157 investors working that out, which is just incredible. They're still not seeing us.
What? They're still not seeing us?
So now I've said words.
Oh, now you've said words that...
For no reason.
Okay. Why are they still not seeing us? Oh, but it was active.
It was. I saw it.
What is going on? I do not know what to do.
Anybody?
If anybody's familiar with Caster and... Okay, it says it's connected.
Uh-huh. Okay. Can you sing even though Brock can't? Oh, no, I can't sing. No. That should never, ever happen. Ever. In fact, when my oldest was little and I used to sing to her at night, she would cover my mouth and say, "No, Mama." It's big rough.
Yeah.
Is there a go live button?
No, we don't need to read that.
Oh, sorry.
That's just our moderator talking to us.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm new
So,
here.
question is what is happening? What is happening?
Janice, we're glad you're on YouTube. Hi, Kara.
Okay. We're going to try...
The joy of live streaming. It's true.
The joy of live streaming. It's true. We are all messed up today. We are all messed up. Yeah.
Andrea, I've never been under any illusions that I could sing. I think that might be the difference. I had like a 3rd grade choir teacher tell me that in order for a choir to exist, there had to be an audience. And so we all had a role to play. And mine was to listen. So I don't know that I've ever had the delusion that I could sing, but if I did, my children have beaten that out of me.
At 5. Okay, I got a call coming in. I got somebody's trying to help me out.
Well, this is fun.
Hey, Noah, do you have some answers for us? I'm on multiple applications right now. Zoom is not the issue. It's a thing called Caster. Yeah, but that's no, sorry. It's a totally different program that I'm using. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a different way. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't think we're able to do this live. So, because I'm live right now on YouTube, and everybody on YouTube is
Thanks,
really
Brad.
enjoying this.
They're enjoying my show.
Okay, that's good. So I'm gonna let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Hi from Texas, Kathy. Welcome.
Bye.
I know Noah is a genius.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just there's too many things that we're doing, and some of the programs he doesn't know. So we got to figure out a different way. Man, everything went so smoothly on Tuesday. This all worked.
It did, but
And I don't understand.
Hi, Rebecca from Tennessee. Tennessee, what part? Where y'all from? Yay for YouTube, says Janice. I agree. At least YouTube's working. This will not stay in my ear.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Am I on the wrong ear? Is that my problem? Maybe Noah can help me. Warfare. We're definitely enjoying this. You two are fun together. We could just do a little show.
There's so much more fun to be had, though, if we
Shift
could just
it.
get it right.
That's where we're at right now.
Oh, my gosh.
I love the southern accent. It slips out every now and then.
Really? They can identify that?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Because
gosh.
I said, where y'all from? It
Oh,
happened. It's
yeah.
a thing that happened. Riceville, Tennessee. Okay. Rebecca, I was born in Florida, and so my language development happened with an unfortunate heavy twang. And I have since overcome it, if that's a fair thing to say. But every now and then it'll sneak out, especially when I'm tired. They said, oh yeah, Southern
Okay.
indeed. Yeah, they knew. Y'all are smart.
Okay. No, this is wrong. This is all wrong.
Well, those of you that are hanging out on YouTube with us while Brock freaks out and loses his mind, do y'all have any other non-shift related questions I can answer for you? I say y'all, and I grew up in northern New York. Yeah, it is kind of the universal. It's better than saying you guys, because that's gendered language, so it helps to be able to say y'all, because people just think it's cute. Try working at a call center. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh my word, I'm sure. She said she works at a call center, so I'm sure you get lots of comments on your accent. I'm kind of a mutt. Like, I lived all over the country, and so my accent will change depending on who I'm hanging out with and their dialect. It's unfortunate. What part of northern New York, Andrea? Because I lived in western New York for a time. No, the lack of plural you. It really is a problem in English, Andrea. Andrea says the lack of plural you is a real problem with English. And it is, because then it puts you in a position where you're calling people guys all the time. It's so true. Canton, New York. Very cool.
Okay.
St. Lawrence County.
Is
Okay.
it working now?
Can you see us?
Can anybody see us? On Facebook. Is it happening? Doesn't look like it's working, but it looks.
But it shows us that it is.
But it shows us that it is. That's what's difficult, is that we're actually seeing that it's working. This is a disaster. and I can't bring. The problem is that I
No, Nancy says she can't see us.
can't see us on Facebook.
They say they can see us on YouTube though, but no Facebook.
Yeah. I need somebody to go on. I need you guys, everybody to go over to YouTube. That's what I need to have happen.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Who just sent that to you?
Yeah, somebody's sending me stuff about setting things up, but that's
Facebook-
not applicable to what we're doing, I'm
The
afraid.
Facebook post has disappeared.
The Facebook post has disappeared. Well, that's terrible. That doesn't work. That does not
Have
work.
we been shifted?
Oh gosh, don't go there.
Like in another parallel universe, we're on Facebook.
There you go.
And we can see it and they can't.
There you go. Okay, we're just going to need to have everybody go over to YouTube. I don't know how else to get this done. So moderators, maybe you could make a post under our event. Maybe you can make a post in other places and just tell everybody to go over to YouTube, because there is no way for us to make this happen on Facebook right now. I don't know what went wrong. The most I can do is I think I might be able to go live, but for the most part, if I do that, people aren't going to be able to see our cast. The technology just won't allow that.
Which you're going to want to see the cast.
You're going to want to see
fun.
the cast. So everybody needs to go over to YouTube. I don't have time to make that post, so I hope our moderators will do that. I really don't know how to solve this issue.
Kara says they'll send messages to their friends because they're awesome like that.
Okay. Okay, I think I did just go live in some way.
We're somewhere.
In some way.
In some parallel universe.
Okay.
There we are. We're
there
right
we
there.
are. We're right there, but I don't think anything is going to work that I'm doing with the cast. So right now,
Oh, Brad says you're live.
Yeah, we're live. I know we're live, but the problem is that I'm not sure that anything that we're doing is going to work. So let's try something real fast. Let's switch over to our wait screen. Now our YouTube should be seeing a wait screen, and this is all we're all testing to see if this is working. Is it working at all? Oh, it is working. Yay! Holy crud, it's actually, everything's working. Okay, I am so sorry, everyone, for those delays. I learned all of this technology in the past week, and it's very sad that I don't know what I'm doing.
You're doing great.
Okay, all right. So we're live. We're back. Okay, we're going to run through everything really fast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm so sorry it took us so long to get going, but we are finally here. We're finally up and running. We are sitting at $46,600 in investment right now with 157 investors, which is incredible. That puts us basically exactly halfway to our minimum goal of $93,000 that we're trying to get to by September 9th, so that then we can launch our campaign out to the whole country, basically, and get hundreds of thousands of people to see the shift and come into it.
Countrywide, or does it go worldwide?
No, it's just countrywide, because only people who live with the United States can invest. So that's part of our rules.
Got it.
So sitting at $46,600 right now, the question is, can we get to $50,000 tonight?
Yes.
Is that possible? I think it is. I think it's possible. I think it can happen. And hopefully we haven't lost too many people with everybody waiting on us. And we appreciate your patience. That was a very long and belabored thing.
But they got to hear so many good stories.
But they got to hear, and I was tuning them out, so I really genuinely don't know what you said. For those of you just joining us, by the way, this is my wife. This is Erin, and Erin, of course, is one of our actors in the shift, and we're going to be bringing out our other actors as well that are joining us tonight, and you'll get a chance to ask them questions. But Erin is lucky enough, or unlucky enough, depending on how you look at it, she's here right with me, and she's going to be with me this whole time, and we're very, very glad to have you. So thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Okay, so yeah, on the agenda tonight, we are going to be bringing out the cast for a reunion, and you're going to get to see them, and you get to ask them questions and see what they really look like in real life. And, you know, is Travis as evil as Satan? You're going to find out tonight. The answer, of course, is no. But
spoiler.
But you're gonna get to hear from him and from all the other actors.
He's gone. He's like, I'm out.
No, Travis, hopefully you're still here. Before we do all that, though, we have a very special video to unveil and share with you, and we're going to do that right before we bring out the cast. It's coming really soon, so hang tight. Let's talk about the last live stream. In the last live stream on Tuesday, we made a huge announcement, which is that Dan Hasseltine and Matt Nelson, who are the composers for The Chosen, are going to be the composers for The Shift. They are officially on board. We've had some great conversations. I talked about how Dan and Matt are basically heroes of mine. Both of them have been involved with Jars of Clay. Dan, significantly, of course, was the lead singer and songwriter for Jars of Clay, who I've been fans of for decades. So it's a trip and a half to even be talking to them. I'm having regular conversations with them. We're friendly. We're sending emails and chats, and that's blowing my mind. Something else that happened last live stream is we saw a number of investments come in live, and we're hoping that happens again tonight. We want to shout you out. If you invest now tonight, we're going to shout you out. We're going to say thank you. We're hoping to get to 50,000. Can we get from 46,600 to 50,000? That's what we're hoping to see.
Janice says we can do more than that.
Janice says we can do more than that. Janice, maybe our goal is conservative. Maybe it is. Maybe we're underselling ourselves. But 50 is a nice round number, so let's see if we can get to that.
I like Janice.
Yes, thank you, Janice.
She's nice.
No, Janice is fantastic. Janice is great.
Clearly.
Okay, so real quick, before we get into everything, I want to review recent comments. This is one of my most favorite things to do. We have our ads going out, into the netherworld of Facebook, and you never know who's going to encounter them. And what they have to say and their perspective on The Shift, coming at it cold, not knowing me, not knowing anything else, is always really interesting. 95% of them are super encouraging. And those 5% that aren't so much, they're super fun.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious, some of them. So let's read just a few tonight before we get going.
It's been our bedtime reading lately.
It is. Linda says, that was incredible. I want to see the rest of it. Me too, Linda. And with funding, we can. David says, that was actually really good. So what David is telling us is that he expected it to actually be really bad, and it wasn't. So thankfully, he enjoyed it. Thank you, David. Joe Beth says, very powerful. I have thought about this film off and on most of the day. That's really cool. To me, that's awesome because that is a bar that I think the great movies clear, right? The ones that stick with you and that you keep thinking about, they don't just leave your brain. Whether or not The Shift deserves to be in the pantheon of great movies, probably not. But it's really cool that that's the effect that it had on Joe Beth. So I love hearing that. Kara says, the rest of the story is so worthy, so needed in this film, in this world at this time. God will impact many. He just needs his A-team, us, to join into getting this funded. What joy it will be to know we shared, invested, prayed, and partnered to get this done. Time is now. Thank you, Kara. Kara, of course, is one of our big Shift fans and always so great about going out and telling people. I know she messages people personally to tell them about how much she loves The Shift. And so we appreciate you so much, Kara. Let's see. Tanner says, I can't wait to see this film. Yes, that is the spirit we want to create. We want to create a hunger for the rest of this story for the feature film. Love that Tanner is excited about that. Ryan says, shifting is not a theologically sound concept, but the cinematography is skillful.
It is. Shout out to Kyle.
So what Ryan gives, he also takes away, and that's okay. We love these comments as well. Shifting is not a theologically sound concept. You're right, Ryan. It is not. It is not a theologically sound concept. It is not in the Bible. It is not something that I believe in. It is called science fiction, and I'd like to very much put the emphasis on the word fiction. We are doing something different. And if that's not for you, that's totally okay. And if it's not for you and you're watching this stream, what are you doing here? But we welcome you anyway. Craig says, you have my attention. Give me a bit, and you will have some of my money. Well done. Awesome.
I'll take your money,
Thank you, Craig. If we already gotten Craig's money, that was 1 week ago he sent us that. I don't know. Well, hopefully Craig is still out there and he's going to come back to us. We appreciate that, Craig. Jane says, love this entire video. Have played this several times and never tire of it. It is amazing. Thank you, Jane. Thank you so much. Jane is another one of our big supporters, and we so appreciate her. Michael says, definitely worth the investment. Great short that needs to be a feature film played in all theaters. Agreed, Michael. That is our goal. We want to get this film out to as many theaters as possible. But we got to make it first.
With sticky floors and popcorn.
With sticky floors and popcorn. If I don't have my sticky floors and popcorn, am I really even watching a movie at all?
No, you're not.
Not since March.
No.
So hopefully we're all getting back in the theater soon. Definitely by the time this movie is made and comes out, we'll be back in the theater and be able to share that experience.
Against the Tide says Dallas reads his most negative comments. They're coming.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Dallas? I didn't know Dallas does that. That's great.
Stay tuned. They're fantastic.
Oh, we have some more. We have some more. Sharon says, this will definitely be worth investing in. What a great movie this would make. Love that. Yes. Anybody who advocates for investment has got my thumbs up. Kimberly says dark, but left me wanting to know what this guy did. I usually don't like sci-fi films, but would watch this. Compelling to see how faith in God prevails. That's a comment I hear a lot. I don't really like sci-fi, but man, I like this movie.
That's me.
And we even hear, that's you.
I don't like science
You do not like science fiction, but you, at least as far as I know,
I tolerate this movie.
See, and that is actually high praise coming from her.
No, I liked it.
So I'll take it.
I liked it so much the first 1,000 times I watched it.
Yeah, I hear that. We've watched it a few times in our house for different reasons. But yeah, this is a film that I think can reach people that don't usually maybe watch the type of genre. And I will include people who probably shy away from faith-based films.
Yeah.
I know several people who shy away from faith-based films, but they enjoy The Shift, and I think they'll enjoy the feature film even more.
Do you have my favorite comment?
I do. This is your favorite comment. This is a favorite comment we got recently.
You didn't do my favorite comment.
Oh, what was your favorite comment?
My favorite... we'll do this one first, and then I'll tell
No,
you.
tell us. I'm going to end with this one.
My favorite comment was some lady wrote... and if you're this lady listening, then thank you, because you made my whole universe last night. She wrote, and she was like... She, rewrote the ending for how she thought the Shift short film should end, and it ended with him going home to pay the bills. And I'm, pushing Brock now for, a whole montage of Kevin, licking the envelope, putting the stamp on, paying the bills, Molly being happy. It's a girl after my own heart.
Yeah, I hate to say there will be no Bill Payne montage in the feature film. That sounds like the most boring thing ever. Okay, Dorian says that ending sucked. It should have ended with him saying amen and then waking up back at the scene of the accident with Tina, the waitress girl, being the EMT who just revived him. Okay, that's a take. Dorian didn't like our ending. That's his ending. But Jilhelmina responded to Dorian, and she had an opinion about Dorian's ending. Yes. And she said, that's too predictable. Besides, we don't know what happens to Kevin next. But if he's a modern Job, I am sure it will suck. So I'm going to assume here that Jilhelmina is talking about life sucking for Kevin, and not so much that the movie will suck, but we don't really know what she means.
Either way, I loved it.
Either way, we love it. We're laughing. It's fantastic.
Andrea suggests that the Bill montage should be part of the closing credits, and I'm totally there for
like
it.
A post-credit scene.
Yes.
It's like the shawarma scene in Avengers.
Yes.
He's just sitting there silently doing his thing, paying the bills.
The freaking bills, like he promised.
I can get on board with that.
Yes. If we get to 1.1 million, it will happen.
It will not.
I've gone rogue.
All right. So we have come to that moment. We have come to the moment in which I'm going to unveil the... moderator, the question you just asked me... Sorry, sidebar. Moderator, the question you just asked me, yes. The answer to that question is yes. So hit me with that in a minute. We actually have a question for Aaron.
Oh.
You know what? Amber, hit us with that question again when we get to the cast portion, because I want to bring them in as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But let's check out this video first. I want to show you this really cool video. This is a video that is going live on our page at 7:03 p.m. tonight. We are ending this broadcast at 7 p.m. This is a video that is really special and really important, and I think you'll see why in a minute. And we want it to go as wide as possible. We want you to share it. We want you to comment on it. You know what? We'll get to all that. Let me just show it to you.
Play that video.
Hey there, I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money, but I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where the Shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So the Shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do, is help them maximize the budget that they do have, and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get enough to make something special. And I think the message of the shift and the future of the shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise. But I can tell you, I've seen his work on a writing side, I've seen it on the directing side. And in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business. And that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more. And I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it. But it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
Nothing. That I may be worthy tomorrow. I am greater than God. Jesus Christ.
And that's what the shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
Hey, this is Brock. I hope you'll partner with us by backing the project at studios.vidangel.com/theshift. We only have until September 30th to get our full funding, and we can't do it without you. All right, so that is Dallas. He is correct. I didn't tell him to say any of those things. That was all him.
I did.
I just asked him if he would just, cut us a quick video and let us just know, why he's on board and talk about it and however he wants to talk about it. But yeah, Dallas Jenkins is on board as our executive producer. You just heard from him exactly why he's involved, what his belief is in this project. And I am, of course, so grateful to him, so grateful for his words. That video is going live at 7:03 p.m. Pacific time tonight. We want it to go wide. Comments especially are worth more than anything. Facebook loves comments. When you leave a good comment, and I'm talking a comment with like 2 or 3 lines, Facebook notices that, and then they say this is something that other people need to see. So please leave your comments, share it, get it out everywhere. And speaking of sharing, right now, please share this stream with other people. Share this stream and put it out there, and put it. You belong to a group that has to do with movies, or any groups that have to do with faith. Get this stream out there. Please help us spread the word if that's something that you want to do. And that actually gets me to a really good point that I want to talk about, which is that, there are some people who are coming to us and saying, I really can't afford to invest. I can't do that. And to those people, we would say, but there's still so much you can do to help us. And the biggest thing you can do is the sharing, is you can like the page on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can watch The Shift on VidAngel so it rises in popularity and more people see it. You can share the live streams. You can message your friends.
All of that's free.
All of that is free. All of that doesn't cost anything, and we so appreciate those efforts. There's another group of people too who can invest, but they're almost apologetic, and they come in and they say, "Hey, I can only do $100. Is that even okay?" To which I would say, absolutely yes. We love however much you can invest. To us, there's really no difference between $100 and $1,000. It's people doing what they can to help the shift and make it happen. So, and the more investors we have, this is the great thing about $100 investor. We'd love 5,000 or 10,000 $100 investors to make this movie. That would be the ideal thing, because that's how big of an army we would have. That's how big of a base of people we would have that we could then go to movie theaters and go to churches and say, look at how many people are supporting this project. We need to get this out there, and it'll make it that much easier. So, just because you can only invest 100 or just because you can't invest at all, that doesn't mean that you can't help us get the word out and make it all happen. Okay, enough of that. Just a real quick review of the investments. Just want to talk about that for a second, and then we're going to bring our cast on. Our cast for the short film is here with us. They're on Zoom. They're waiting for me to shut up and let them in, and it's going to happen in just a second. investing in the shift is not a donation. It is a thing where you are actually purchasing shares of the film itself, and you are going to get your money back before I do, if there is money that is made. You will get back 120% of your investment when the movie makes money, if the movie makes money, before I get a dime.
When?
Well, I have to say if, because that's the legal language.
I didn't sign that contract.
Well,
When?
you're part of it, so you have to say if.
If.
There you go. Now we're legal.
If.
So one of the things, because it's legal, because we have to do all this by the book and we're regulated by the SEC, one of the things some people have been concerned about is, why do I have to give my social security number? And we reached out to our lawyers and we said, guys, we need some real language here that we can explain this to people, because we don't want your social security number, to be honest with you.
No.
I don't care what your social security number is. So why are we getting it? And this is what the lawyers told us to say, and I think it's actually really good. And so I want to just read it word for word. So those of you that are concerned about the social security number, you understand why it's like this.
The lawyers wrote something.
That's really good. I know. That actually makes sense. Good lawyer. We have good lawyers.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. This information is, speaking of the social security number, this information is required by Prime Trust, the escrow agent for your investment, to verify your identity in compliance with federal banking regulations. VidAngel Studios does not save this information. Okay, so we don't keep your number. That goes to the bank. That goes to the...
It's just to make sure you're a real person.
Just to make sure you're a real person and
it.
everything's on the up and up, because it is an investment. So please don't hesitate if that's your hesitation. All right, it is the time. It is time to bring in the cast. Cast, unmute yourselves. Let's bring you all in. It is time to meet the cast of The Shift. And here we go. Boom.
Woo!
Here we go. We got, let's see. I think, Greg, you're still on mute.
Here, you can do
Let's
that.
go to
No,
gallery
I'm
view so we
here.
can see everybody. There we go.
Great!
Greg White,
Hi.
I think you're on mute still.
I'm here.
Oh, you are. Travis, can we hear you?
Everyone's up and running.
Awesome. Okay, we are all here. Thank you guys for waiting. I'm sorry that took so long. It was supposed to take about 15 minutes shorter than that. But you saw all my difficulties. So up here in the corner here, we have Greg White. He played Tina's father. Next to me, of course, this lovely lady is Erin Heasley. She played Molly. Down at the bottom here, we have Travis. His call sign is Tremendum Pictures. Travis, of course, is one of the founders of Tremendum Pictures and the director of several movies. And then we also have Greg Tharp, who played... Oh, and Travis, of course, played Satan. And we have Greg Tharp, who played Kevin. He's under a call sign Gregory's iPhone.
Yeah,
so welcome, guys. Thank you for coming on with us. It's so good to have you all here. Unfortunately, we were not able to get Tina. Tina is in surgery today. She had surgery, and she's recovering. I hope she's recovering at this point. So if you have any prayers for Tina, please say a prayer for her. And, of course, Karen Melrose played Tina's mother. She couldn't be here today either. But we're so glad to have you guys here. And, of course, all the most important people are here. That's not true. But it's awesome to have you guys here. We appreciate it. All right, so let's start this up. We wanna get your questions. I'm gonna kick it off with a question of my own. And but if you've got a question that you want to send to us, please put it in the chat. Any question you want to ask, either collectively for the whole cast or individuals, hit us with what you got. They're ready for you. So the question that I'm going to ask to the cast is this: tell me a little bit about your filming experience. Going back 5 years. 5 years ago, we shot this. It's a while ago. But just tell me a little bit about your filming experience. Was it just another shoot? Was there anything special about it? Was there anything that caused anxiety in you? What? Tell me about your experience. Let's start with Greg White.
Well, it was my second film experience. I was in a feature as an extra. And so this was my first, I guess, featured role. So I was quite excited to do that. My experience has been in live theater. So I decided once I retired 8 years ago that I would just kind of branch out. So I've done some commercials locally. And other than that, this was my second one. I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Aaron, why don't you hit us?
I was stressed out that day because it was Brock's first scene directing, and we have a shorthand with each other. I like to say he would be a lot nicer if I weren't married to him as an actress. And so he was a little rough that day on me particularly. And so I made like 86,000 cups of tea and finally leaned over to him and said, "You need to chill out." It's my biggest memory. That and who was on the ledge way up high
Oh, that was Josiah.
with the boom
With
mic.
the
It
boom
was
mic.
like they like scaled my kitchen wall. It was a little frightening. I was a little stressed
Yeah.
out at that time personally in life. And so that day was super stressful, but being able to see it come together was so special.
We just got another investment. Denise in Florida just partnered with us for $500. Thank you so much, Denise.
Let's go.
We're getting closer to that 50,000 goal. Remember, our goal
Yeah.
tonight is $50,000. So if you
Amazing.
if you have it on your heart tonight, tonight's the night. We want to see that number go up there. Greg, talk to us a little bit about your experience.
Oh, my experience. Okay. Off and on since high school, I've been acting. I just love acting. I always love being someone else, I think, mainly. But I think in particular with this project, the thing I can remember the most is spending all that time in Country Waffle, eating those, watching them eat steaks constantly over and over and over again, and sitting there. And it was honestly, I think, the first time I've ever worked with a director that has made me take that many takes to do something. And I was getting frustrated, honestly, to tell you the truth. I mean, after 14 hours, I was ready to go home and go to bed. But honestly, it paid off in the end, man. I mean, it's working. There's just something about this group. When we came together, we were able to make this work so good and so fluid. And yeah, there's got to be something in God's hand in it where there's no confusion, and that's what I really like to see. So yeah, I can't wait. This is amazing. I can't believe this. I can't believe it's been 5 years, to tell you the truth. So this is amazing.
I know. And how is it that you all look the same? And I look like I've aged 10, but you all look the same to me.
Are you kidding me? Look at my cheeks. I've been putting the weight on, man.
Those
Those
are
got me a little chunky.
those cherubic cheeks, man. That just makes you younger. That's all that does.
Or Santa Claus one day. Yeah.
All right, Travis, tell us about your experience.
Oh gosh, it was fun. I just remember wondering why you had put so much dialogue in the script. Man.
It's too many words. I agree.
Like it wasn't just like however many pages. It was like however many pages, wall to wall with words and dialogue and things like that. And admittedly, I was not well prepared. I know we'd been working on other projects and things, and it was like, all right, it's coming up, let's go do it. And I was just like, man, hopefully I can give a good enough performance to make it, to make some people kind of grit their teeth a little bit, like, and then I ended up gritting my teeth a lot too against that steak that you planted in front of me over and over again all night. And it's funny, I was thinking about that because my boys walked in during one of the Tuesday live stream you did, and they saw pieces of this, like, Dad, what's this? I was like,
oh, they haven't seen it?
They haven't seen it yet. I mean, it was 5 years ago. My kids were all just whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, I got a freshman now and a seventh grader, and they're both like, "What's this, Dad? What?" I'm like, "What? You're Satan?" They were laughing so hard. I want to see that thing where you're Satan, Dad. But I remember just some of those things. I'm sure we'll get into more of them, but the steak thing, one of the things about the steak and that the character I wanted to do was just show kind of, I don't know if we talked about this, I don't remember, but I feel like some of the reasons why, like, you see me and I've got big old pieces in my mouth. I got like chipmunk cheeks. But part of that is not just because, whatever, but part of it was also in my mind. I was thinking, like, if Satan was a perpetrator of the 7 deadly sins, like gluttony and, lying and just, just all the things, the 7 deadly sins, and it's like, yeah, he would shove his face full of it. He doesn't care, like, so I was like, I think it's, I may look silly with those, but in reality, it's like, if you throw caution to the wind and you don't care about any of those things, as Satan doesn't, what the heck? Shove your face full of that steak. Cold or not well, it was cooked, go for it. But it was fun. It's always fun. It's
Yeah.
always fun.
No, agreed,
Amen.
agreed. And you had to commit to that choice all night, and as Greg says, there were not a few takes. So, but no, you guys did an amazing job. We got questions rolling in here from our fans here. So let's try to get through them as quick as we can. So, question for everybody: how did you connect with me on this film?
Like, how did we get connected to you to do the film, or how did we connect to you in the moment?
I'm just reading the question. You interpret it however you want. Anybody, take that one.
I'll start.
Okay.
I connected with him for this piece because we're married, and been there for a while. But in the moment, I was in grad school. I was in my first semester of grad school, taking 3 classes and teaching 2, and I did not have a Saturday to spare. And so that day, I just remember thinking, like, he promised me this would take 2 hours, and we're on hour 4. And I was tired, and Greg kept throwing the spoon against my wall, and there are divots in the wall now, and I was thinking, that's not gonna come out. But like, all of that was in my head. In my heart was watching him do the thing that I knew he wanted to do, and that was so exciting. So I felt like a split person in that moment, like lamenting my own personal whatever garbage, but also being so incredibly proud that he not only assembled this great group of people, but that he was doing it and it was going so well. It was really exciting to be a part of.
Cool. And then Greg,
My connection.
go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my connection was kind of unusual. I got a call the day before the shooting from a friend of mine.
Oh, that's right. It
And
was
she
that quick.
said, yeah, and she said, "What are you doing? Whatever that tomorrow night?" And I said, "Nothing." She said, "Would you like to have a role in a short film?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what about lines and stuff?" She said, "Don't worry, I don't think there are any lines for you. You just have to be a cook or something like that." And okay, and said, "Can you get hold of an apron or something that looks like you're a cook?" So I said, "Okay." And they said, "Show up at whatever 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening." And I didn't know anybody, but I just figured, oh, this
But
is
off
great.
you went.
Yeah, so here I am the next day, and I didn't know it would last till 5:30 in the morning the next morning. But
A little long.
it was interesting. It was fun to watch everybody work, and it was fun to watch Greg and Travis do all their lines. Because that was most of the night was the bit at the table there. But I'm really glad I had that experience. It went, I think the final scene we only did the one take, if I recall.
Yeah, it was
so
pretty quick.
You seemed pretty happy. I said, oh, okay, that was the last scene we filmed. So
Yeah. Well, we
I must
were
have done
tired
what I
at
was
that
supposed
point.
to do.
Yeah.
I was
And
told
then-
to look like I was grieving that my last daughter had been taken by the devil, basically.
Yeah.
So
And
that's what I tried to.
Played it beautifully.
portray.
Other Greg, we connected
Yeah.
at a haunted house, as I recall.
I recall that. Yeah. I recall losing a lot of my voice there too. Chris and Travis on the release of the first Gallo movie had a haunted house in Fresno for promotional purposes, or just for all the people that want to say they want to work for them and they can finally put them somewhere to work. So But yeah, and then I remember Brock working so hard doing all that, and I just kind of leaned over and I was like, dude, do you have anything? Well, it was the last night. I think it was the last night that we were leaving, and I just said, man, do you have anything written? Because I constantly look for people with film work because I want to be on film. But no, I just remember telling you, I was like, I just looked at you and thought, man, this guy's got to have something written. And you did. And within like 2 days, you'd called me back and were like, I got something. Let's do it. And I'm like, cool, man. I'm down. I'm ready. I was all fired up. And I'm still, I still feel it because it's like you said, it's been 5 years. I can't believe it's been 5 years. But this movie is the one that's just been sticking with me for the last 5 years, just all the time. And everywhere I turn, when I think I'm done with this movie, a poster pops up, or now all this is popping up. And it's like, wow, this is crazy. But my connection was, yes, a haunted house. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Or haunted auditorium, I should say. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. Yeah,
No,
it was really good.
It was a great. You're the spark that lit the fire. I always will be grateful to you for that. Travis, we go a ways back, but how did you feel about being asked to play Satan, and how did that come about?
I thought it was going to be fun. It was. So I have no complaints. I mean, look, Greg said something that's true. I mean, we live in an area where it's just not that frequent to get opportunities like that, you know? And some of us are trying incredibly hard to make it more frequent. You know, a lot of people in small communities, not in LA or San Francisco or New York, that want to be involved in film and stuff like, or Georgia, you know, some other places are exploding, friendly laws and more friendly tax incentives, etc. But for people that don't get an opportunity to participate in it, it's so fun, you know? And it's, I wish that it weren't also about money, because it's hard to make a living when you're not like in the system and you're not doing the Rock Johnson, you know, pulling in 80 million. But for those that do want to participate, whether they're lending their business, whether they're lending a vehicle or whatever to the production, I don't think people can understand how big of a deal that is for us creatives. You know, it's a big deal. And so, you know, anyone trying to help get this made or any film made, they should take pride in the participation that they have, even if it's donating something. If it's an investment, that's great. But just any kind of help that they provide it's a big deal. And so on behalf of creators, like all of us are in this call right now, any little thing to help is so helpful. And the participation is so fun. So yeah, so like Greg Reich was saying, like he hadn't seen anyone, hadn't been, but I bet you had the time of your life staying up from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. going, this is great.
Absolutely.
And,
I love to be on any set. I just like to keep my eyes wide open, my ears wide open. You learn a lot.
Yeah, it's so fun. But I've known Brock for a long time, since college, just a little bit, not like really well, but we kind of have the same graduation year and stuff. We've been in the same community for a long time. And you know, we just, Chris and I and our production company had been talking to him about writing because we know he's talented. And the haunted house came up as a thing that we would try to do. And, you know, that was like a whole thing where it's like, man, we had all these great ideas. And then like the city was like, oh yeah, but wait, you need to do this and that. And it just turned into this really kind of big event that didn't anything else except some great relationships with some great people.
Yeah.
All the people that participated in that, so fun, so great. So just good, fun personalities. Yes, doing horrific scaring of people and making people pee their pants and all of that. But really getting together, you know, with the purpose of entertaining. And I think that's translated into many other things since that time. And Brock has really utilized his talents in writing and developing this kind of in the same way. Just a lot of collaborative people that are excited about creating and doing good things and fun things, and things with a good message. And that's what has led us here today, Brock's drive to do that, and the many relationships that have been developed over that period of time. So it's
appreciate that. We've got a bunch more questions here. Let's see. Question: Travis and Gregory, you were riveting. I can't imagine how it could be improved on. Where's the question?
It's not. It's a statement.
Oh, it's a statement. Okay, that's just a statement. That's just an ego stroke for you guys. So congrats on that.
You're awesome. The end.
not a question. Okay.
What else needs to be said?
Here's a question for Travis. I know, Travis, you were just talking, but let's head back over to you for a second. Is this the first time you've played a bad guy? You may be typecast after this.
No, wait, maybe it is. No, it is. I think it's the first time I have played a bad guy. The other times I was just a guy. I was a drama teacher in the movie, and then I played someone's dad. And then recently I do have a role that's very interesting in a movie we shot last year.
Cool.
But that'll have to be a surprise.
Nice.
But Travis, one of the reasons why I love that that's your answer is because Brock was so intent, like as he was talking to me about scripting and asking you to do it, he wanted a guy that was not a bad guy. Like, he wanted a guy that was approachable and friendly and charismatic, and that you'd like want to invite over your house for a picnic. Like, that's like he wanted that because, you know,
Because it's so much scarier when that guy turns on you.
yeah.
You know.
And it's that some of the bad guys that we're most afraid of are the ones we don't realize they're our next door neighbor, and they said they brought the paper over, you know.
And that's what I loved about your portrayal of him, is that he really did feel like he was helping him until he was not.
Yeah. It was fun.
Let's see. For Greg / Kevin, this is not a question, this is just a statement, so I'm going to throw this out to you, Greg, so that you know. I don't want you to miss this. You ought to be in film. You have a very expressive face and an everyman quality that just draws people in. I hope more opportunities come for you.
Oh,
I don't
thank
know
you.
Who said that,
thank you
but they
very
said
much.
that. That's
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
Andrea said
I really do.
Andrea, thank you,
appreciate
Andrea.
Thank you.
I know Greg.
And he's the
Thank you.
nicest guy ever.
Greg is a super nice guy, so he deserves to be in more.
It's
Right.
Hey, we just picked up another $500 partnership from an investor in California. Thank you, whoever you are. I don't have a name, but thank you so much. And our new total right now is $47,600, which means we are $2,400 away from our $50,000 goal tonight.
You just
I did
In
math
California.
like it was
the top of your
nothing.
head.
Like it was nothing. I'm in the wrong industry. I should be an accountant. No, that's not true.
Thank you.
No.
All right, let's see here. This is a question for my wife. For Aaron. Okay, we already know about your husband's huge ask to make this film at the worst possible time, and your gracious reply. And then suddenly you are an actress under his direction, reliving an argument you once had with him in your very own kitchen. Can you share with us your experience about that mind bender?
Yeah, we were so true. We were in Brock's already talked about it, so just full disclosure. We were in one of the hardest times I think we've ever had. A year before that, we had both lost our jobs like in the same 24 hours, and as Travis mentioned, the haunted house was this amazing experience, but was not the lucrative opportunity we were all hoping for. And so between like not really making the money that we needed to make, and me being in grad school and a year of unemployment, it was a rough time. And so when he came to me and said, "Let's shoot a movie," I was like, "No." But when he showed me the script, I'll admit, like, for a moment I panicked. I was like, does he think this is what I sound like? Like, does he think I'm Molly? Like, have things gotten that bad that, like, I'm that character? But he assured me no. But we have had that exact fight over the bills, which is why I'm pushing for the bill montage, by the way, for those of you that were here earlier. So it was a total mind bend, but it was fun to play it with Greg because Greg doesn't make the same faces at me when I'm saying those things that Brock does. So it felt fresh and new.
His faces are better, as Andrea tells us.
Clearly. More expressive and shrewd.
Also from
know.
Andrea, she says, Travis, your Satan was fascinating, scary, with just the right kind of appeal, the kind you know is dangerous but have trouble pulling back from. That's a high compliment.
That's good.
I like that.
Here we got a question here from one of our composers, from Matt Nelson.
Ooh, hi Matt.
He says, and this looks like this is, I'll just read the question here. What does an actor draw upon, inspiration, sources, etc., to portray a character like Satan? So, Travis, what did you draw upon to do that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. For me, when I watch actors, I love acting. I've done more directing and producing than I have acting. But I like, when I watch actors, I like the little subtle things that they do. And you talked a little bit about that on Tuesday. The subtle things that are not as normal to do just willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you talked about the knife point, like, you know, the knife point, just the little knife. It's like, things like that. I like that stuff because, like, who points a knife like that? Oh, like someone who might use it for something other than, cutting their steak, and like when someone has a knife pointed at them, that's a threatening thing. Just little things like that. It's not said, it's not spoken. It's just when we see it, there's universal things that kind of, they give us certain thoughts or remind us of certain things that are either fun and comfortable, or very uncomfortable and threatening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, little things like that. I also like the kind of bipolar nature of I worked with another character once, and it was like I always wanted him just in that film. My first feature that I did, it was like, I want you to just be really scary and then turn into just this nice chipper fellow, And so there's a couple moments like that where he's just like, he's really just, Satan is really just enjoying the misdeeds and the terrible things that have done. But he realizes he takes his job seriously, he really does. And he really does take it seriously.
Yes.
So I don't know. For me, it's just it's a fun thing to explore that in the script that you put together, and it was fun. But just subtle things that are more intrusive into your psyche than just the words, although the words were phenomenal as well. So.
Awesome. Well, it's an incredible performance. If there's a recurring theme through a lot of the comments is just an admiration for the performances, and I think Satan is obviously a very showy role, and you milked it for everything it was worth, and I mean that in the best possible way. Like, you just really took every word, every sentence is just, you're playing it for everything it's got, and it's great. I love your performance so much for that reason. We got a question here for Greg Wyke, who played Tina's dad. Question is, Brock defended your character against my ire that Tina's dad didn't protect her. Can you speak to how that felt in character to send your last remaining daughter to serve Satan?
Ooh, well written. Who wrote that?
I don't know who said that, but that's the question.
I believe my other two daughters had been taken or shifted already. And so I assume I was hoping that if Tina cooperates, maybe there was some hope that she won't be shifted. I don't know what I could have. I mean, I know he's Satan. I don't think he or anyone else in the cafe felt they had any power to.
Well, that wasn't really my fault or your fault. That was Greg's fault. Greg is the one that
yeah, I mean, there was no.
So
it was not a time
Satan.
for me to be a hero. I don't think I would have been able to prevent it. All I could hope for is that as long as she cooperates, when they first enter the cafe, she looks terrified, and I go up behind her and say, go ahead, just cooperate, do your best, kind of point her in that direction. But I still have that look of apprehension. And as I'm listening in as to what's going on, I already know it's probably too late, because Tina's mother and I hug each other, and the grief is already starting to come before she's even been shifted. Once she's been shifted, of course, we're overcome with grief. And then at the end, it's just astounding that Kevin was able to resist. I don't know if other people have been able to resist before or not, but it's like this incredulous feeling. And he pulls out whatever $100 bill or $100 and lays it on the counter. And I'm still dumbfounded I know I've just lost my daughter, but this man was able to do something I hadn't seen before with Satan. So it's like just mouth agape as he exits the door, and that's what I felt. So no, I don't think he felt he could have intervened at all. I don't think anybody of the terrified restaurant patrons believed that they had any power at all. That's why they were frozen in fear. They'd seen this all before.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. I love hearing these perspectives. It's been a while since we've done it, but just what was going through your mind as you were doing it, and it just, I think you're able to, with no words, bring all of that across just with what you did and in your eyes and everything. Just as a reminder, everybody, tonight we're trying to hit $50,000 in investment. We are $2,400 off right now. So if you've got it on your mind and your heart, that this movie needs to be made, you want to see it happen. This is the night. We have only until September 9th. We're trying to hit our minimum goal so that we can launch this campaign. So I hope you'll join us for that.
And if you don't, I promise you.
Can we Can we like get a clip of that and like play it on the?
Well, we could, except you'd laugh too loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I messed it up.
It'd be a great gift. All right. We have a question here for Aaron. This is from Kara. She says, most of us have watched Dallas knowing he has a rock star at home, not only holding down the fort, but supporting him and The Chosen with wise counsel and much participation. Of course, Kara is referring to Dallas Jenkins and his wife, Amanda, who, you can't do anything when you're married unless you do it as a team. Kara goes on to say, because I have had the privilege of a peek at what is coming, I already know one of the coolest lines is yours. Have you thought about how this project will reflect you and may also impact you?
Oh, wow. Well, Brock has said that Molly and Kevin have a love story coming. And so my like secret hope is that she will stop being a shrew.
She does.
Become a character that is lovable. But I can tell you that I hope that it impacts us and that it tells the story of what it means to love beyond the happily ever after, that it's work and it's hard, but that if you invest in it and it will come back to you. Like that's my hope. Kara, true story. I have not read the full script yet. Brock has given it to me and I'm scared.
Nobody reads scripts. I said this on Tuesday. You give a script to somebody, they don't read it, even your own wife.
Guilty. Anyway. But I will tell you as well that when I first read the short script, I said to Brock, shifting is not an excuse for not doing the thing you said you'd do. So, like, you don't get to in the house be like, did you take out the trash or shifted? Like, that's not a thing. Like, you don't get to claim that shifting is your, like, workaround. So we'll joke about it sometimes. Like, when I say to him, like, are you gonna blah, 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 blah? And he's like, you never said that. And I'm like, oh my. So I hope that it does not give husbands out there an excuse to stop paying the bills, because that's important. But I hope more than anything that it's a reflection of a true love story, and that love is hard sometimes, but worth battling the devil for.
Yeah, I can confirm that there is a love story at the heart of it. Molly is super shortchanged by the short film, and I think that if you watch that, you would not get the sense that she's any kind of a main character. But in the feature film, she very much is the third lead of the film, to be honest.
And I'm still hoping for Jennifer Garner. So if anyone knows her or has connections to her or can cyber stalk her safely,
I bumped into her once.
Travis.
Hey, well, there you go.
She was on her phone, and we were in the lobby of our management company, and she was just like, oh, hey. And she's like, oh, hi. And then big smile and the dimples. And I was like, I turned to my business partner, Chris. Chris, that's Jennifer Garner.
And you didn't stop her and be like, I have this friend. Here's her number.
No, it was years ago. It was probably a good 4 or 5 years ago that happened. But,
yeah, it's still my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We have a question here for everybody. This is from Amber. And this is a question. I'm not going to go to everybody. Just kind of raise your hand and let us know if you want to take this one on. The question is, are there any notable personal spiritual experiences that happened before, during, or after making this short? And I'm assuming in connection with the short itself. Any notable spiritual experiences, personal spiritual experiences that you feel comfortable sharing?
I can start. So I know one thing, that when we were filming The Shift, technically I was homeless. And so not only did I do this film in probably one of the most emotionally unstable times in my life, it felt like, but this movie and when we all got together, it really gave me hope that it always gives me hope that there's people around us that are a community that are willing to come together and work together. And honestly, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I think we filmed it in December, right? Or we filmed the ending scene towards the end of December. And I think by January I had an apartment and I had somewhere to live. And so it just, everything shifted around that time, because I don't know, it just a lot of things changed, but it was, I think the beginning of that change started when we were filming that last scene in the diner for me. So it was really cool. I mean, I don't know if hopefully that answers some a little bit, but
no, That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg. I'm glad that you shared kind of where you were. That's not you weren't in a great place, but I think I think it's fair to say that what you were going through informed your performance. I think I remember talking about that with you. You were kind of drawing from that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't ever want to be in that spot again. But I mean, acting, I don't have a problem. But but you never want to put yourself in those dark holes. You don't ask for those dark holes, but they come, and it's all depends on how you do it. And I just had in that time when it could have been really easy, especially during Christmas season. Most people it's pretty hard. I've had hard times, but that time it saw a bunch of people just get together for free to do something that just a spark like that on it out. Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. We've got a question for Travis from Judy. She says, "Do you stay in character between the scenes?"
Oh, that's a good question.
I think only in jest I would stay in character. Be like, point the lights at me, or whatever it would be. I'll answer the previous question too. Not any like major spiritual experience or anything, but certainly no spiritual experience, large or small, should go unnoticed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So just watching it, the first time watching it in a crowd, just seeing how strong it was. I would say probably if I had to say a really strong, poignant one, I think you probably talked about it, was in the rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
That first time, boom. It's like it was the perfect take the first time we read through it.
Mm-hmm.
Got perfectly, and everyone kind of got a whiff of some kind of just, this is pretty wild. I'm sure you've spoken about it. I haven't watched all the stuff, but that was really potent, I think, for everyone.
Time?
Wow. This moment will have, if it will have a half of the meaning it just had for us in the room right here, it will have a very big meaning for those.
Yeah.
I echo what Travis said. That table read, the rest of the cast, you've told the story, but I'm going to tell again.
Go ahead.
Rest of the cast didn't get the prayer in our script, so we didn't know that was going to happen. So as we're doing the table read, all of a sudden, it's playing out for us like it did for you on screen. And when they finished, and Greg said amen, one of the executive producers was sobbing softly in the corner by himself, and no one spoke. There was a spirit in the room of, this is special. And it was the coolest feeling.
It was cool.
Yeah, and I've gotten to watch that as Brock has shown the film to different audiences and to family that we've traveled. People have that reaction every time, which is really incredible. His mom sat and wept the first time. And watching that over and over and over again, that never gets old.
Yeah.
Amen.
No, it's one of my favorite memories of the whole making of was right there. And I've talked about this, that I kind of freaked out in that moment when that happened, because on A, I'm like, well, this is amazing, and I'm really glad that this happened. B, how in the world do I now replicate this experience in the final edit? It's a lot to live up to, and I believe we got there. I think the final product is pretty reflective of what was felt in that moment, and that's something I'm really, really pleased with. Hey, Charles in Texas just partnered with us for $100. Thank you so much, Charles.
Nice.
That brings our total up to $47,700. We are $2,300 away from hitting our 50K goal for tonight. Is there somebody in there who wants to come in with $1,000? Is there somebody who wants to come in there with $500 and help us get there?
There should be balloons.
There should be balloons. I know we need confetti or something when we get to that 50. But we're going to be wrapping this up in about 45 minutes. So we got 45 minutes to close that gap. I hope that we can. This project, this film is something that meant a lot to us, those of us that made it. It means so much to people that are seeing the short film. You have no idea what is waiting for you on the other side of this short film when we get to make the feature film. And I say you have no idea because you literally have no idea. Kevin walks out that door, and it's one of those things where I think you watch it and you really don't know what happens next. You really, people have tried. I mean, we had Dorian earlier tonight tried to, tell us how it should end. We have the woman who wants to see Kevin pay the bills.
Yes.
That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is much, much better than that, much more interesting than that.
I mean, in her version, Kevin did other things too, but he stopped and paid the bills first. And it just made me so happy.
But that's not going to happen in the feature film. In the feature film, we're going to take the themes of this short and we're going to blow them up. And the experience that you have watching the short, if I do my job right, is going to be tenfold with the experience you're going to have watching that feature film.
An hour and a half of bill paying.
An hour and a half of bill paying. You're trying to undercut everything. It's just that's all it is. Time just undercut.
That's my job.
I know.
Janice wants to know if we would all be open to being in the feature film if asked.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. Or actually, that's not a question for me, is it?
Well, I don't know.
I'm not an actor. So.
I don't know. Anybody? Are you inviting any of us?
Look, I would love for everybody to participate in the film, not necessarily in the roles they played in the short, but but yes,
fired.
I want to make room for my friends.
We've been fired, but I'll hold a boom mic or stand in the background or do craft services, whatever you need.
Sure.
Well, it's tough because although it would be exciting, I mean, it's like everyone's so busy. It's hard to do stuff. I mean, look, that's one way of saying that it might be difficult to do. But the truth is, you guys need faces that people know and recognize. You need, I mean, getting movies sold, at profit, finding some faces that are recognizable for the project is doing right by the investors.
Yep.
Somehow in my career, we've managed to make movies that do not have any famous people in them. Maybe the last one we did, we had Coach from High School Musical in it. That's the most recognizable face that we've had. Now, do they become recognizable faces afterwards? Yes. There are going to be some of them like so recognizable that like, I mean, they'll just be so busy that we will never be able to use them in anything ever again, probably. And they're committed to certain projects probably for the next decade or so. I think you guys know who I'm talking about.
Definitely know who you're talking about.
But look, yeah, I mean, the truth is to do right by the project, you want to find people that can represent the brand and just, you know, all of our minds, what all our minds see as people that we want to see in movies or that we relate to, or
so
even
Travis,
if we don't.
Janice wants to know then who you would cast as Satan. Recast
Should I
yourself.
just say Willem Dafoe?
Everybody thinks Travis looks like Willem Dafoe. If you think Travis looks like Willem Dafoe, shout it out in the comments.
Got those
Young.
eyes. I have those like recessed eye sockets. My smile though is much better. I like, I don't have those scary. I feel like he's got very scary teeth.
He does. You don't have that.
He's got very, but yes.
I feel like he has too many teeth too.
Wes Bentley.
Great.
Wes
Oh,
Bentley.
that's a
Oh,
good
that's
one.
interesting.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
That was
Greg,
Chris
who would
Gallery
you cast
looking
as
up,
yourself?
looking up Satan's.
Oh, sorry.
I think Wes Bentley would be a good Satan though.
Like a
cast
James
as me?
Franco too would be good. Both of those guys, but Wes Bentley would be good. He's got a great look.
What's the
Yeah,
last
he
one you
would.
said? What was the last one you said?
Oh, James
Travis?
could play like
James Franco?
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, who knows what if he's in hot water with anything or whatnot. But
I was just gonna say I don't think he's kind of in small water right now. I don't really know if he's working.
Well, that means he'll work for cheap.
Yeah,
Which means he's great for us.
Man,
Jared-
I don't want to go out on a limb, but I'd say someone like Edward Norton would be a great Kevin.
Ooh.
That would be a really good one. Even go as far as like, shoot, Bradley Cooper would be a really good Kevin too.
Oh
I'd
yeah.
watch that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I bet he's
I mean,
gettable.
I think it'd be really good.
someone else's wife. That
Yeah.
And a Molly again. Who knew?
the kind of nepotism
good.
that's doing nepotism, I guess. Right? Like, hey, you cast your wife in that role, and now she's gone, bro. You lost it.
Hey, we got an investment update. Nancy just matched $1,000 of earlier investments,
Ooh.
and Kara just put in, I believe, another $200, bringing our current total now to $48,900. We are
Wow.
1,100 away from 50.
Wow.
1100.
We gonna do it. We gonna do it.
We have 40
Honestly, guys,
minutes. We can do this.
If you don't reach it, I will have to come back and play Satan. So get the money in there so they can get these guys, they can get these bigger names to come in and swindle you,
I was
Swindle you.
See, now we can use it. All right, we got a ton more questions here. Let me find one here. For Gregory/Kevin. I always love it when people can convey intense emotion without even a facial expression. When you counted out the money for Tina's parents, how did you make your hands convey guilt?
Well, was that my hand?
Yeah, yes, it was your hand.
Oh no, because I thought you shot some shots with your hands in there. I thought.
No, it was yours. Look,
yeah.
That was that was you. That was your performance. I did not do that.
Okay.
I don't know where Greg's coming up with this, but I didn't do that.
I don't know, because I thought for some odd reason I just didn't. I thought you shot that without me there. I don't know why, but honestly, like one of the biggest things for me is I come from theater too, and that's expressions are like to hit the back of the room, and so it took me years of being in film classes in Fresno and just learning from people on sets that the littlest thing on a camera can just, the littlest look, the littlest flick of your finger, the littlest pick up of a coffee cup, the way your hands shake when you drop money on a counter can convey whatever they want on a blank mind's canopy. And it's just perfect. I absolutely love it when you watch a movie and someone just kind of looks to the side and you're just like, oh, I know what's gonna happen now. Like, I've always loved that. And so conveying messages, whether it be through my hand shaking while I'm putting money down, or just the littlest look at Satan, like, heart, what is going on right now? Like, what am I doing? I think a big part of that is the littlest expressions. That's the quickest, shortest answer. I took the longest way to get there, but that is the quickest, shortest answer.
Your answer was
great. I like to take my knife at the dinner table and motion at my kids the way Travis does.
It's very effective.
It's threatening. It's pretty threatening.
Inspiration from you on that. I didn't know how you would take that, so I was like, oh.
No, I love it. I'm always like, sit down.
Are you pointing a knife at me?
Jenna says, Aaron, I think you did a better job than Jennifer.
There you go.
Thinks you're better than Jennifer Garner. I mean, that's an ego
Who has
stroke.
also worked with Bradley Cooper. Full circle, it's meant to be.
Right. There we go.
Let's see, let's see, that's more of a question for me. Give me a second here. Travis, did Brock tell, this is from Andrea, Travis, did Brock tell you which, if any, of Satan's lines were outright lies rather than just manipulative?
Say that 5 times fast.
That was hard.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's been a while, so trying to recall, and it was a whirlwind of a night. But I wish I had a better answer. Like, yes, there was one line. But is there anything that comes to your mind, bro?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think we really discussed that. I think it was pretty much everything was on face value for the most part. He doesn't really lie a whole lot. At least not in his mind, he's not lying a whole lot. So nothing really jumps out at me. I was hoping you had an answer.
I mean, look, the lie is always that whatever you're getting from him is going to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
However many things he was offering, that's the lie. That it's all, it's all going to be peaches and happy, and and you'll get everything you ever wanted. In a story, there's the need, there's the want and the need, and in a story arc you have those things, but in the arc of lies, and deceit, it's always that you're getting exactly what you want instead of what you need. And a lot of people confront the two, especially these days. A lot of people think, well, I need this, I need that. And it's like, you're never going to be happy. You're just never going to be happy. And you'll never know why, because you can't see where you are. Mm-hmm. Kevin, in this instance, he figured it out. He had to recall some of his training, right?
Dog.
Yeah. Sorry, that's our dog.
Baxter,
stop. He's like scratching himself at our door. Sorry about that, Travis.
I didn't hear it until we all stopped, and then we listened. But Kevin, recalls some of his training from his upbringing and utilizes that to his advantage. Passing on essentially things that he does want, or that maybe we all want. I mean, I would love to just be able to walk into an office in Hollywood and be like, hey, I need $500 million for these next 4 films, and just get it.
Yeah, when we all...
landed in my lap just yet. But it's a matter of, maybe that hasn't happened because I need to put more work in, and I need to do what it takes, not just think that I'm moving of something without having put the effort into it or more effort into it. But I think for those that do put the effort into it and work hard enough and, put their faith in it, in their efforts and in the people that they surround themselves with, they can overcome things, just as Kevin overcame even the influence of the devil. So
appreciate that.
That's my spiritual thought for the night.
No, that's great. That's what it's all about. Ultimately, it's not about just making a cool movie. It's about putting something out there that has some meaning. I think that's, for me, that's the most exciting thing about this. And so anything we can do to tap into that is good.
I want to say also that for those that are like, oh, I'm not really into sci-fi, it's like, you know what? There's plenty of people that are. And thinking that things should only be made for us is therein lies a problem. If all we want to do is make stuff that preaches to ourselves or preaches to the choir, what does that do?
Right.
Put positive, universally truthful messages into dramas, into comedies, into whatever. Some of the most potent moments in films, I feel, are films that you don't expect it to happen, but boom, it hits you. I mean, and they're movies that if I told you the titles of the movie, you'd be like, what? You were impacted by that movie? It's like, yeah, well, if I tell you the part of that movie, but all the other things surrounding that build up to that moment. So you don't even realize it. But if that was just for me, if it was just movies I like, then things that I appreciate wouldn't get out there to other people that might appreciate it told in a different way. It could be fantasy, it could be science fiction, it could be whatever.
Definitely.
So for those saying like, I don't know, yeah, you might not know, but go for it. Help out anyway,
Yeah.
See what happens,
Absolutely.
I don't know. And then if this builds to something more, the next thing it might be exactly what that person's looking for.
Right.
But supporting that and not just, I mean, I say independent film because it needs help right now. It really does. Studios can compete with all the COVID and the regulations and all that stuff. But they're going to continue to put out formulaic machine-built content, not heartfelt stuff that people are going to be putting out with passion behind it. And so that's the kind of stuff that needs to be supported the most. And this is an excellent format to do it with. This not really crowdfunding, but crowd investing. There is a difference. So, but both are good. But this is really neat because there's true participation for people.
Absolutely,
Anyway.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. You're doing some of my pitch for me, and I don't have to be the only one saying it. So it's awesome.
I know the struggle, bro. It's hard, but it is
very hard.
Appreciated, and it's all put to such good use.
Since Travis is doing favors right now, there's been a request for you to say a line, which is funny because Travis didn't really know his lines on the day of. How about 5 years later?
Okay, wait a minute. What are you gonna throw him under the bus like that
He
for?
He already said it.
Not just him.
There's too many lines. It was my fault.
No, the lines are good. I was unprepared for them, but that would be hard on any day for anyone, and I was unprepared for them. But I knew that we would get it. I think everyone knew that it would happen. I needed some extra stakes, but it happened.
Well, Travis and I have worked together on quite a few projects, so I don't know. I feel like I can rely on Travis as much as I hope he can feel like he can rely on me when we're in scenes together.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, is knowing that you can look if someone's having a you know, needing to like put the script in their lap for a paragraph, you know. Fast now,
Right.
you know, that's
Yeah.
but if everyone knows, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a certain level of some people are prepared and they're overly prepared and they have it all memorized and stuff, and then there's those that are just like, I don't know. I was unprepared, but I was not underprepared to perform.
So true.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Absolutely. So, okay. So, we still have the request, Travis, for you to say a line. The line that I can feed you a line. There's a line that somebody would like to hear you say, or would you like to come up with one of your own? Or would you like to say, hey, I'm not your monkey, I don't want to dance?
No. What's the line that they want to hear?
The line they want to hear you say is, Kevin will have a coffee.
Yes.
I don't have a coffee. And let me guess, is that Aaron's question?
No, actually, it's from Jenna. That's from Jenna.
But Jenna, thank you. It's my favorite line.
Such a weird favorite line.
It's the way he says coffee. I don't know. I love it.
Well, look, I mean, there's no way to repeat the magic of the day, you know, in some Zoom call parlor trick. But if anyone's going to have a coffee, Kevin will have a coffee.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
Totally. Thank you, Jenna. You're my favorite.
Hey,
That's awesome.
good, right? Good.
We say that one a lot at dinner.
Yes, we do.
A lot at dinner. That one gets quoted.
Hey,
frequently.
Yes, it does.
My battery's gonna die here in a second. I'm not around my cord, so I might have to say goodbye. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, guys. I appreciate this. I love seeing everybody. Thank you for all the support, and I do want to know if we reach 5,000. Please send me a message.
50,000. Yes, we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
50,000.
Thank you,
I don't know why
Greg.
it's give us another 5,000. Let's just give us another 5,000. All right. All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Much love to
We'll see you.
everybody. Yeah. Bye.
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 Kevin will have a coffee.
All right. So we just lost Greg. That's too bad. Stupid phones. But we do have another question here, and this goes out to everybody or nobody. You can answer it or not. The question is what do you think happens next in the story? Or what would you like to see happen next in the story? Does anybody have any thoughts on that? I know I have them, but I don't think I should share them.
Well, I think Tina's parents might want to make a deal with the devil so they can see their daughters again, which may, you know, they may make contract with the Satan so they can be shifted.
Ooh.
You know, just because they want to be reunited. I mean, what's the point of continuing in that world without the three daughters they missed? So I don't know. That can be arranged, but
That
That's
got
something
dark.
Ooh,
That
I
got
liked
dark.
it.
Greg's like, no, we're making deals with devils.
I like it.
Awesome. Hey,
you know, they
real
could-
quick bit of news. We just picked up a brand new $100 partner. Shout out to Diana in Texas. That brings us to 49,000 even. We only need 1,000 more to reach 50,000, which is our goal for the night. We have 28 minutes. Can we get there? I hope we can. I hope you'll join us. Anybody else want to take that question?
I think I have said this a lot. Kevin pays the bills
Kevin paying the bills. Yes.
on loop.
I'm kind of glad I'm the one writing movies in the family.
It's
Just
probably
FYI.
smart. It's probably
it's
a good
not you.
thing. Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Honestly, surprise me. That's what I would like. Chris and I have been working on a bunch of scripts and you know, a slate of films that we're trying to get up and going, and you know, I know how much mush our minds can turn into when we're trying to create worlds and things.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to jump into it. I'm just going to say power to you and make it, man. I hope you just get a chance to make it. So whatever it is,
it will
chance
suck.
to make it.
Whatever. No, Kevin's life will suck.
Kevin's life will suck. Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We got another question here. Greg, the Greg that is left. You're a veteran of the stage. I know you've done a lot of stage work. What is the difference for you working between the stage and film? What do you see as like kind of what's the difference there? What's unique about one or the other?
Well, as Greg Tharp touched on, you really have to bring your mannerisms and things down because film is so nuanced and you're not projecting to the first row or the last row of an auditorium. So, instead of large gesticulations, I've taken a couple of classes on acting for film, and they really had to drive this, into me, that it's just less is more, just eye movements, and you don't have to use your arms and fling your face around. And so that, and knowing that you can pick up the slightest whisper, you know, if you want to, that really is something that is a challenge, but it makes for very nuanced movements. I mean, every little eye movement, every little smirk, although it might not be visible on a stage, it's going to be visible to the camera. So I've had one role since then in another short film, and that's something I have been trying to learn. Yeah, I think most stage actors that go to film will say the same thing. You have to have more nuanced acting.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
To portray grief on stage, you might have to go like this with your fingers and flail yourself around.
Yeah.
But in film, you don't even have to shed a tear. You can just portray grief by what you're not saying. Sometimes you can say more without dialogue.
True.
You just portray it in your face. You don't have to be saying something. Silence on a stage sometimes doesn't work. The guy in the last row thinks, "Oh my God, he forgot his line." He's been standing there, hasn't been moving for 5 seconds. But on film, it's very apparent.
Well, I think you made the transition beautifully. I mean, all the subtleties that you brought to it, it's not overdone. You figured out that nuance from the jump, and I appreciate your. In fact, I've had you on things. My second short film, I brought you in on that as well, and you had lines in that one, and it was beautifully performed. So I love working with you every chance I get for that reason. We got a question here from Amber. She says, "What film or films have had a great impact on you in your youth?" So going back to your youth, thinking about the films that really made a difference. This goes to everybody. Who wants to chime in?
Amber, I was obsessed with The Parent Trap. Like, obsessed with The Parent Trap. Could perform it for you, like, at every scene of it. I loved it. And I think I don't know. I think the movies you watch as kids, like, stick in your brain in such a fabulous, fun way. And I know The Shift is such a part of an amalgamation of all the good stuff Brock's ever watched. But Parent Trap for me.
Parent Trap.
Yeah.
I kind of knew that was going to be your answer. Greg and Travis?
Well, I mean, I'm not much of a movie person. We don't watch a lot of movies, but thinking back to my youth, I liked Godzilla and science fiction movies like that. I know, movies that I liked Swiss Family Robinson. I liked all the Disney movies, but I don't think any of these were life-changing movies. It's just, as a kid, things you enjoyed watching. Oh, I guess my wife reminded me, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest had the biggest impact on me. And that was my favorite movie for a long time. Might still be. Yeah.
That's a great one.
For me, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of movies that I reference from when I was a kid, the E.T.s, the Goonies, Explorers, a lot of those fun ones. There were movies that I saw that I probably wasn't mature enough to see, that I didn't understand, grasp them yet. At that time, it was like not uncommon to just go see whatever movies were out, But there were cool movies that a lot of Spielberg movies, the Jawses, the Raiders of, the Indiana Jones movies, things like that. Later in life, other movies have had good impacts. Some of my favorites are like the Bravehearts, There's one that I think it's Will Ferrell's best movie. It's called Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh yeah, great movie.
I guess maybe because he actually had a role that he was playing. He wasn't just Will Ferrell on camera.
Yeah.
But I really love that movie, and the message is really cool, especially for storytellers and creatives. That have a story that's so important that the character would be willing to let it play out, so to speak. That one had a big impact. A couple other just small moments in other movies that have had impacts. There's several of those, but I think mostly. I mean, that's kind of it. Can't think of one that like changed my life.
Right.
All of them had stirred me up into loving storytelling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I can take this one, even though I'm not a cast member, I feel kinship with this particular question.
Citizen Kane.
Well, not when I was a youth though. I didn't come to
Okay.
that one until I was an adult. Citizen Kane is a pretty impactful movie for me. But when I was a kid, I think the movie I rewatched it recently. It's not really that great, but it was impactful for me, and that was Flight of the Navigator. You guys remember Flight of the Navigator? That was such a great, like, ultimate fantasy movie. Kid gets his own spaceship and gets to go zipping around the world in it. I mean, like, that hit my sweet spot. And he got to do time travel, which I love time travel stories. And I loved the adventure of that.
At the time, Pee Wee Herman was huge, right? Didn't he voice?
Right, and he was the voice of the ship.
Yeah.
Our daughter's messing with us. Just let our dog in. Out now, please. Oh, we're going to have fun later. Violet, you need to take the dog out.
Violet, take the dog, please.
I don't know if you guys can...
I love live!
Live
Yay!
is great.
So special.
She's giving us advice on how to get good views. Okay. Nope.
Okay,
Okay, thank you for the input. We'll take it under advisement. Can you guys hear that at all? That's
Can you the joy of being at home.
all right. Well, we're gonna deal with that. Sorry about that. We got a question from Andrea. She says, is that second short film with Greg available to view anywhere? No, it's not. I'm afraid it's not. It's currently enjoying, well, sort of. I mean, film festivals are kind of on hold, but we're kind of putting it through some festivals here and there. And that'll eventually get up somewhere that you'll be able to see it. That short film, I made that about a year or 2 years maybe after we did The Shift. Travis was an executive producer on that one as well, and Greg played an older gentleman who was married to the lead character. But that was a really fun experience. But we won't talk too much about that. But it's also kind of a sci-fi film, but doesn't have any faith elements in it.
Intelligent sci-fi is what you call it, isn't it?
Intelligent
sci-fi. It has some plausibility to it. You don't have robots and spaceships and monsters and things like that.
Right.
It's kind of like Groundhog Day, without being, but not a comedy.
Right.
So it's got the same, it's science fiction. It hasn't occurred, but it's still, plausible. Or it shows some intelligence to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wrote it, so that's debatable, but I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
We got another note coming in here. I'm trying to see what that is.
Was the car accident sequence hard to shoot?
Well, Greg's not here. Greg Tharp, of course, was the guy who was in there. But the sequence was difficult in the sense of just logically trying to figure out how to make it. I know, Travis, you were a huge help. You and Chris both. Chris is Travis's producing partner, directing partner, and he's in the room, but we can't see him there with Travis.
I think he might have snuck out.
Did he sneak out? Okay, that's when the door was opening.
But yeah, that one's it was just tricky. It was just tricky. Timing and then some VFX to make it really work. But we used some practical stuff too. I mean, the glass and some of those.
Sugar glass that Aaron made.
I made that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my pan never came home.
Yeah, we lost that. Sorry.
That happens. There's a black hole that things disappear into.
It's true.
On set, but but yeah, it was a little tricky, but it turned out really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
All right. Well, we got an investment update here. Janice in Georgia just partners with us for $500. And Judy in California just partnered with us for $100. That brings our total to $49,600. We are only $400 away from hitting $50,000 tonight. That is really, really close.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like even though we only have 16 minutes until we are going to do a hard cut on this whole thing that we're doing right now, I feel like that's possible. But before we talk more about that, I want to thank our cast for joining us. Thank you guys. We appreciate so much sharing your thoughts and kind of having this reunion and peeling back the layers of time and trying to even remember what we did so many years ago. I know that that's not always an easy task, but I appreciate you guys being willing to share your stories with us. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Look, we know how hard it is. We know the struggle is real, man. And supporting each other through all kinds of things is just important to do. So excited to see what happens with this, and excited to see you hit that 50, and then the next benchmark, and then the next benchmark, and then the next, and then get it made.
On all the way to the
directing
end.
all of us? How about that? That's the question for you. How was it directing all of us?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was really my first time. It was really my first time as a director, so it was, there was a learning curve for me, and I think I probably did a lot of things really poorly, and thankfully I had people who were talented enough to kind of pull me through. And Travis, you've directed, and of course you've acted, and so you were a huge help that night, and really keeping track of the physicality of your performance. And you were very helpful with advice and things like that. But I think the thing I love about directing is just drilling down with an actor and finding those nuances together, and really figuring out how to fine tune that performance, and working with people who are willing to kind of go down, maybe some of what turn out to be rabbit holes, but perhaps get us to the place that we want to be. Because even if you have a very clear idea of what you're doing, which I generally do, I have a very clear idea of what I want and how I see it. But when you get there in the moment and you see it playing out, it doesn't always, what you think you want isn't necessarily what's right. And so trying to figure that out in the moment, trying to make those adjustments, and having actors who are willing to do that. For anybody who hasn't acted, particularly on film, where you're repeating a lot of things over and over again, and you have to do it in such a way that it's precise and similar enough to what you've already done, so that the editor doesn't have this crazy mess of things that they have to navigate around. I have so much respect for actors who can do that, who can take everything they've done and then change these three things at these three different points and keep track of all that in their minds and then execute it. It's really, really difficult. It's way more difficult than you think it is. So I have a deep respect for actors because I know I'm not one. But I do think I have an understanding of the human condition and what feels real and what doesn't. And so exploring that with you guys and having Greg bring those nuances, and having Travis bring the physicality, and Aaron bringing, all the shrillness.
I was gonna say, what did I bring, babe?
And the shrew that is so much a part of her. In the bad moment. No, that's not how Aaron is. But we all have bad moments, and
For sure.
And so some of that conversation is based on our bad moments. No, but I appreciate when actors can bring it all. And we didn't have auditions for that short. It was really just, hey Travis, hey Greg, hey Aaron, come and do this. We didn't have time to do things like that, and everybody ended up in the right spot. And so I'll always be grateful to you guys for that.
You mentioned the challenges of continuity in terms of editing. You're doing the same scene over and over and over and over again and splicing it all together. If you're a background extra, especially in a cafe scene like that, you've got your drink on the right and your straw pointed this direction, and you've got this. You can't keep switching things around, because then it looks like a glass of water is full, now it's empty, now it's full again. So even the background extras have to be aware of that continuity, and that they can't keep mixing it up and try to put variety into it, because it just gives the editing person a headache.
Yeah, exactly.
And the editing person's wife, who has to listen to 18 million of A, or B?
Yeah.
A or B?
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, we are just about out of time, and I want to do some wrap up some stuff with everybody on the other side of the Zoom call. So I'm going to let you go. I thank you again so much. Just really appreciate you. Really appreciate your performances. Appreciate you showing up tonight. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. We will see you later. Feel free to stick around. I'll leave you going. You can exit if you want. But we're going to move over to some other stuff. So thank you very much. And if you do stick around, put yourselves on mute.
Get that final. You got to break 50. You got to break 50.
$400. That's what we're missing right now. Yep.
Come on, guys. $400. Don't make me come through this camera into your home. All right.
All right.
Brock,
see you guys.
Brock, my
Yes.
wife and him just been talking with my wife. I know it's not official to do it. As soon as this ends, you've got $400 from us.
No,
We're
are you
gonna-
kidding me?
I'm going to put that $400. My wife and I will do it as soon as we're off tonight.
Oh, that's
Nice.
amazing.
Balloons.
The balloons come, the confetti comes down. Thank Greg, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was our Zoom call cast reunion. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We appreciate you sticking around and being with us. We are looking for $400 more. It looks like it's going to happen. Would love to get even beyond that. Don't feel like Greg's doing it. We need you too, because obviously we are still trying to get to that 93 by September 9th. So we only have 10 minutes. Let's watch that Dallas video again. For those of you that maybe weren't here at the very beginning, you missed that we have a brand new video that at 7:03 p.m. Pacific time is going to go live on our Facebook page. We want it to be shared. We want everybody to comment on it. We want people to see this video because what Dallas has to say about The Shift, as our executive producer, as the creator of The Chosen, I think is going to be really impactful for people and is going to kind of really frame what The Shift is. Because I think a lot of people are like, what is The Shift? I like The Chosen. I think that's kind of the attitude we're seeing here and there. And I think Dallas and what he says in this video is so impactful and important. And so let's watch it one more time, and then we'll talk a little bit after that. Check it out.
Hey there, I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money, but I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where The Shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So The Shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do is help them maximize the budget that they do have and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get enough to make something special. And I think the message of The Shift and the future of The Shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise. But I can tell you, I've seen his work on a writing side. I've seen it on the directing side. And in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business. And that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it, but it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
My unworthiness seeing me that I may be worthy tomorrow.
I am greater than God.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
eternally greater than
And that's what The Shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
Hey, this is Brock. I hope you'll partner with us by backing the project at studios.vidangel.com/The Shift. We only have until September 30th to get our full funding, and we can't do it without you. All right, that was Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, talking about The Shift, talking about why he signed on as an executive producer, and quite honestly, talking way too much about me. I did not ask Dallas to do that. It is, of course, incredibly flattering and incredibly affirming and validating for me personally, but it's really not about me. The Shift isn't about me. The money that you're investing isn't about me. It's about this film. It's about the message. It's about what we are trying to do as far as trying to give people some hope, trying to give people some perspective on what this life is about and how God plays a role in it and the role that he plays within our lives. We only have 5 minutes. I'm very pleased to report that Kathy from Texas just put in $250. That puts us, let's take a look at it. That puts us $150 away from our goal, $50,000 goal. We all know that as soon as this is over, Greg White, one of the actors in the film, Tina's father, he is going to put in $400.
Yeah, he is.
Which is going to put us way past that. But can we get to? Wait a minute. I'm told that something's happening right now. We're gonna refresh this and see what we've got. And there it is. There it is. Greg came in. Look, that's how fast it is. Greg jumped off the call, went and invested. It took him like 3 minutes, and it happened. 163 investors. We are at, wait a minute, we're at 51,250. That's way more than, what just happened? What just happened? We got way more than expected from somebody, including Greg. We have $51,250 in investment. We have completely blown our goal wide open for tonight. I'm not even totally sure what just happened, but it did. But it did, and it's so exciting. We got an extra $1,000 at the very last minute from an investor who wishes to remain anonymous, and of course we want to respect that. But we are so grateful to them, and whoever you are, thank you so much. I am so touched by what's happened tonight. I'm so touched by what we heard from the actors and how many people believe in this film. This is the little film that could. It really is. This film was never supposed to be all of this. And the fact that it is, and the fact that so many people believe that they're willing to invest and make that sacrifice so that other people can hear this message and most of that message you guys don't even know yet. You don't even know what I have planned. I'm probably going to trickle out some hints as we go forward. I think these live streams would be a good place for things like maybe a script reading. We'll have a script reading at some point, things like that. I'm going to start telling you just little things, not big spoilers, but little things about this film and what we have in store for you in the feature film. I'm so grateful that so many of you are demonstrating that faith and coming to this film and making it happen. I'm grateful, of course, to my wife for being here by my side. I hope that everybody piles on and pressures her to be at more of these live streams, because as much as she gives me a hard time, I think it's actually a pretty good thing.
Except, as my mother pointed out, you did call me a shrew tonight.
I did, but only in a positive way.
How? I don't know where to go from
I can explain it later to you. We are so grateful to you for sticking with us. We are 2 minutes from 7 p.m. Remember, at 7:03 p.m., the Dallas Shift endorsement video is going to go live on our Facebook page. We need you to comment. We need you to share. We need you to like it. We need you to spread that video far and wide. The biggest thing you can do, the absolute biggest thing to do, and it costs no money. Those of you who are like, I can't invest in this film, number one thing, tonight, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to that video on our page, write a comment. Not a yay, not a wow, not even an amen, as much as an amen is fantastic and obviously a very powerful word. We need you to write something that's got a little bit of substance. Tell people why you love the Shift. Tell people why you love The Chosen and why the Shift is worth supporting as well. Just a few lines make such a difference for the Facebook algorithm, as mysterious as it is, we know that that is an effective thing to do in order to get videos to go out wide and then share as well. And here's my daughter again. We're out of time.
Pray
We're
for
done.
her.
Pray for her after this because she's about to get a severe talking to. Violet, do you want to just say hi to everybody? I'm sure at this point you feel like you're a part of things.
Hello.
Here.
I've been bringing dogs into
Yes,
this room.
all right. That's enough of that. Thank you very much, everybody. We will
because
see you.
we have 4 dogs.
Our next stream will be at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. We're going to be watching. We're going to have a watch party. We're going to watch The Shift, the whole thing together, and take your questions. It's a great time to invite your friends who maybe haven't seen it. I hope you'll join us.
Because Cammie is also coming in.
We have a family. There's nothing we can do about it. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Goodbye.